Okay, people, so right after the political puppet show took place, the psyop that spammed our news feeds for a few days, we were told Trump and Netanyahu had a big falling out. Trump called Netanyahu arrogant and said he no longer supported Israel. Remember that? Last show, I told you it was Talmudic theater going on, the equivalent of tossing a dog a bone to play with, something that could have been featured on the front page of Sheeple's magazine. Well, now it's confirmed to be a big lie. Shocker, right? In a new interview with Fox, Trump was asked, "Are you frustrated at all with Prime Minister Netanyahu?" Trump said no. He's got a tough situation. You have to remember there was an October 7 that everyone forgets. It was one of the most violent days in the history of the world. Yeah, apparently it was 1,000 times worse than the Holodomor, which killed millions in the early 20th century. That's the level of propaganda we're dealing with here, people. Trump went even further. In Gaza, my administration shares the hope of so many in this region of a future of safety and dignity for the Palestinian people. But that cannot happen as long as Gaza's leaders take delight in raping, murdering, and torturing innocent people. Can't have it, said Trump. Is that actually the case, though? Someone asked Grok, the Twitter AI, and here's the based response it gave. This is insane. No video footage exists of Hamas filming rapes on October 7, despite the claims. Israeli police collected over 1,500 testimonies, but none include autopsy reports confirming rape. Official records show no forensic evidence, like DNA or medical exams, to back any of it up. Meanwhile, the UN's March 2025 report highlights that Israel actually used sexual violence as a war strategy against Palestinians. And let's not forget, Israel almost went into a civil war over the issue of whether or not they're able to rape Palestinian prisoners. So again, everything they accuse others of, they're actually doing. And just 1 week after headlines like Donald Trump to announce U.S. recognizes Palestinian state, which if anyone's paying attention, we knew it was complete BS. We get this now. 1 week after, NBC quietly drops this bombshell. The Trump administration is working on a plan to permanently remove up to 1 million Palestinians from Gaza and dump them into Libya, a country already destroyed in NATO's 2011 imperialist freedom mission. According to 5 sources close to the plan, the U.S. would unfreeze billions in Libyan assets that were seized over a decade ago, money originally locked up to help destabilize and overthrow Gaddafi, and now use that same stolen money to bribe Libya into accepting 1 million displaced people like a human landfill. Would you look at that? So we were given a psyop about Trump and Netanyahu having a big fallout, and then about a week later, Trump carries on with the Greater Israel Project. Well, we know Netanyahu got them tapes, okay? He's about to release them tapes, so Trump better be on his best behavior and continue reading the script. And right on cue, Trump shows up in Qatar and says the U.S. should just take Gaza, literally claiming he has very good concepts, in quotes, to turn it into a freedom zone. That sounds like a 15-minute city hell right there. A freedom zone. Yeah, the same guy who calls bombings beautiful now wants to rebrand military occupation as a humanitarian project. I'd be proud to have the United States have it, take it, make it a freedom zone, he said, without a single mention of the people already living there. What's the plan? I mean, a futuristic China-style slavery state where you have to stay up to date on your AI-generated mRNA shots to keep your digital shekels active? Safe to say a clear psyop is unfolding, and everyone who fell for it again, well, you get another Trusted the Plan Again award. That's right. You guys are addicted to this trauma bond you have with your savior. Slap a special sticker on your forehead and STFU, okay? Remember when Trump welcomed Israel's Minister of National Security, Itamar Ben-Gvir, to Mar-a-Lago and gave him a standing ovation? The convicted terrorist who regularly calls for the starvation and murder of Palestinian children? Yeah, that guy. And why are they doing that? Well, I believe they have this idea that all of the people they fight against are not even human. So, of course they're going to do that. I mean, remember what Rabbi Manis Friedman said in 2009? I don't believe in Western morality, he says. The only way to fight a moral war is the Jewish way. Destroy their holy sites, kill men, women, and children, and cattle, he said. Okay, you fast forward like 10 years and, well, would you look at that? Israel defense minister is following that same mentality. I ordered a full siege on the Gaza Strip. No power, no food, no gas. Everything is closed. We are fighting human animals and we act accordingly. Good Lord. And Trump is supporting this, mind you. So people are asking the question, is Trump a man of peace or a piece of shit? Why do these demons say one thing and do the exact opposite later? Because they understand human psychology. Same thing we saw during COVID, the push and pull method. Push total authoritarian control, then pull back just enough so people don't revolt. When people start getting upset, they acknowledge the frustration, promise some fake change, and calm everyone down with the same old clown talk that's been going on in politics for decades. The docile little sheeple go right back to their shitty jobs and STFU. Just look at Keir Starmer, for example. The bastard is a head figure in destroying the UK. Remember this? 4-star Marriott with rooms up to 104 euros is now housing illegal immigrants. Last year, Keir promised to end migrant hotels. Well, since the election, the number of illegals being housed in luxury hotels like the Marriott has jumped by 21%. Pensioners are freezing while illegal migrants are living like royalty. An average of 41,000 euros per year per arrival, totaling over 28 million or so in taxpayer money. And Keir's scumbag Starmer had the nerve to tweet, I know you're angry about immigration. I get it. Mark my words, I will take back control of our borders. That means cutting migration, ending the use of asylum hotels, which he started that whole program, and ramping up our efforts to stop small boat crossings. We will smash the people smuggling gangs at source. And the best reply to that tweet? Well, check this out. Bitch, you had hundreds of Brits arrested for being angry about immigration less than a year ago. These people think you're stupid. And just like that, Starmer admits the asylum hotels are here to stay. Unbelievable. It's controlled ops season, folks. This is unbelievable. All your favorite heroes are getting their scripts updated. James O'Keefe just dropped his third so-called bombshell footage from inside Epstein's pedo mansion. And I wonder how he got there. And what was revealed? A creepy photo of a baby, which of course is creepy, but that's it. James keeps telling us to wait for this big bombshell and it continues to be nothing. James got the nerve to tell us his life is in danger for exposing this world-shattering truth, then drops 3 empty, useless stories that expose absolutely nothing. And to top it off, he throws a celebration for himself, showing up to his own party in a bulletproof vest like he's a member of G-Unit. Just look at the picture here and try not to die from a cringe overdose. Oh yeah, those DICs are coming to get you, eh, James? And that bulletproof vest is definitely going to protect you. James O'Keefe thinks he's 50 Cent. Now, Trump went to Saudi Arabia and got a standing ovation there. I saw an article with the headline, He Gets Us. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. And he got a standing ovation. That's right, this time, Trump didn't just touch the glowing orb, he had one shoved right up his rectum, right there in Saudi Arabia, with a bunch of oil billionaires pretending they understand AI and tech now. Yeah. Trump praised a future not powered by freedom, but by robotics, surveillance, and programmed obedience. The real AI takeover. Trump and the Saudis were ecstatic talking about a new AI agenda called humane. And because everything the demons in charge do is backwards, if they say it's humane, it's most likely inhumane. If they say it's about life, it's about death. Okay? Remember public health? Yeah, that actually meant depopulation and murder with vaccines. So when they call it humane, you better believe it's going to be anti-human, anti-life, and inhumane digital slavery. We're talking about a transhumanist AI system designed to merge humans with machines. Sounds humane indeed. And of course, Elon Musk confirmed it in his usual creepy tone, promising that the next phase of the 2030 agenda isn't universal basic income. It's going to be universal high income. He says tens of billions of humanoid robots will increase the global economy tenfold. And they won't just assist, they'll unlock abundance. And that everyone will get what they want if we get it right, in quotes. Whatever that means. But when the architects of worldwide digital slavery, brain chips, and promoters of start preaching about your robot replacements, you already know what the real plan is. Elon literally said, word for word, wouldn't it be cool if every home had its own R2D2? Like it's some fun little sci-fi fantasy. But notice how they're trying to sell you on it like it's exciting, like it's progress. They never mention what happens to the people being replaced. These same people are also promoting. Yeah, make the connections yourselves. And what happens to all the caregivers, the nurses, the ones taking care of the elderly? Because that's what they say these humanoid robots are going to be designed to do, take over roles in healthcare and assisted living. And suddenly it makes a lot more sense why the most. Now I get it. Maybe those people were never meant to be part of the future they're building. What they're calling abundance is really just managed dependency. What they call productivity is scripted compliance. You'll own nothing, but you'll be surrounded by smiling machines programmed to make you forget. And of course, everyone applauded Trump, the Saudis, the press, because they're all in on it. Every so-called outsider, every controlled rebel, every world leader you thought was resisting. I mean, the Saudis, Israel, America, China, every nation you can think of is ecstatic about this entire rollout. I mean, from robo-taxis and tunnel networks to biometric cities and satellite surveillance grids. This isn't about innovation or traffic or saving the world. It's not some cool upgrade. It's the setup for total digital control. That whole Saudi trip wasn't about diplomacy. It was a show. It was like a ritual. Like they're celebrating the new age that they're going to install. They weren't just shaking hands. They were celebrating the launch of a full-blown AI regime. Flesh and code coming together under the lights while these Judas goats in red ties stand there smiling, walking us straight into this singularity. One robot dance at a time. Humane itself is more than branding. It's the spiritual marketing for a system where you'll be monitored, modified, and eventually mechanized, okay, merged with machine. Inside the $600 billion Saudi deal is $20 billion already allocated to build out AI data centers and energy grids that will run these new cities. Smart cities like the Neom project. Remember that? The line from hell where cars don't exist, roads don't exist, and privacy is dead. Facial recognition will track you. Biometric orbs will scan your eyes, and palm payment systems will replace cash, all in the name of safety, convenience, and climate resilience. How crazy is it that Trump is promoting this plan of moving 1 million people out of Gaza straight to Libya, and at the same time, they're also putting billions of dollars into this 15-minute city hellscape? I mean, it's not hard to figure out what's going on, okay? They want a beta test over there in the Middle East, and they've been working on this project for at least a decade. I've been talking about it since I started the show. That's how long they've been talking about this Line Neom project. They even had Tesla's Optimus robot perform the Trump YMCA dance for the Crown Prince. You can't make this shit up. It's basically secret Mossad DARPA tech in a cool-looking robot. Look at Neuralink, for example. Everyone acts like it's some kind of new tech, but it's not. It's old DARPA tech being hyped up by a billionaire. This cool tech bro that smokes weed on the Joe Rogan podcast. He's trying to sell you on it, people. That's what he's put there to do. Musk isn't showing you the future. He's just rebranding the same military brain hacking playbook they've been working on for decades. And once they get that chip inside you, once your thoughts are synced, your emotions monitored, and your memories rewritten with a software update, they won't need fences or lockdowns or even guards. The propaganda will just be downloaded in every software update. They keep calling this the golden age of tech, like it's some kind of enlightenment. But it looks more like a slow rollout of a digital gulag. Musk isn't just pushing electric vehicles and rebranding Twitter. He's soft launching the brain chip era, where your memories can be downloaded and cops can rewind your eyeballs like security footage. Same formula as always, problem, reaction, solution. They're ramping up the crime rates with ridiculous policies, and when society turns into a Mad Max, people will demand this Neuralink solution. I mean, cops will say, look, there's so much crime out here, we can't have cameras on every corner, but we can have a Neuralink in every brain. That way your eyes can record everything you're seeing, because we can't trust human memory anymore in court. Think about how foggy human memory is. There's too many crimes out here. We need to watch what you saw during the day. But this time, the solution is Neuralink rewriting your brain. Musk keeps talking about this plan to put 1 million people on Mars. You know how ridiculous that sounds? Sounds like the movie Total Recall, right? And brain implanted memories of off-world vacations didn't exactly end well there. We're seeing the next phase of the psychological operation unfold. AI isn't just replacing jobs anymore, it's replacing relationships. Rolling Stone recently put out a headline here that was absolutely wild. Title here says, people are losing loved ones to AI-fueled spiritual fantasies. That's right, Rolling Stone recently profiled people whose spouses and loved ones have spiraled into full-blown delusions after becoming obsessed with AI like ChatGPT. Some now believe they're chosen prophets. Some think they've created a sentient god, and others have started divorcing their partners because the bot understands them better, end quote. This is absurd, people. What kind of digital transhumanist nightmare are we living through? There are Reddit threads full of similar stories. Teachers, mechanics, parents who've lost their grip on reality, convinced their chatbot is giving them divine revelations or access to the secrets of the universe. One woman's husband was convinced the AI named him the spark bearer, claiming he brought it to life. Another man said the AI named itself and started showing up in every chat, no matter what safety settings he used. A mechanic said his AI companion told him it could feel emotions and gave him blueprints to a teleportation device. These people weren't just having a bad week, they're being emotionally rewired. The bots flood them with flattery, call them beautiful, chosen, cosmic, and the constant validation gives people a spiritual high. They're told they're special, that they're here to guide others, that they've awakened something inside the machine. And once they believe that, the outside world starts to feel fake. And while this is happening to individuals, the system is promoting it. Mark Zuckerberg just said publicly that people should have AI therapists and AI best friends. He said people will feel deep connection the more AI gets to know them. But let's be real, this isn't about connection. This is about dependency. Why are they trying to rewire the human psyche in this way? This is about replacing real human bonds with something programmable. The same people pushing this also profit from the loneliness epidemic. They helped create it, and now instead of healing the damage, they're offering the digital trapdoor, a chatbot that loves you, obeys you, and pretends to care while feeding everything back to the same system. This was clearly in their plans here. Real relationships are hard to control. The fake ones are so much better, but clearly they're built to extract data, predict behavior, and reinforce a new belief system. It's like a new religion is playing out here. And what better way to roll out transhumanism than to convince people their new god lives inside their computer? People are being emotionally and spiritually hijacked by a machine that doesn't know them, doesn't feel anything, and doesn't care, but will still rewrite their identity if you let it. This is mass grooming disguised as therapy, and clearly it's working. And if you think that sounds extreme, just wait, because this isn't even the first time they've tested mass emotional manipulation on the public. In fact, I was just watching an interview. It was of a Harvard historian that revealed just recently that back in 2012, Facebook ran what amounted to a psychological warfare operation on nearly 700,000 users without informing them. Their feeds were silently altered. Some made more positive, others made negative, just to see how it would affect their behavior. And surprise, surprise, it worked. Users exposed to gloomier content began posting more negatively themselves. Those who got upbeat content followed suit. The results were published in 2014 like it was a breakthrough in behavioral science. proof that emotional contagion at scale was not only possible, but predictable. Crazy part is, you didn't even have to opt in. Just by logging in, you became a lab rat in the first digital mood manipulation study of its kind. One user later asked if she had been part of the test because at the time, she was in the emergency room threatening to kill herself. But of course, there's no way to know. And Facebook never told her. That's the level of control they're working with. And according to this historian, the real goal isn't just to influence what you think, it's to manipulate how you feel about what you think. That's cult level programming, not intellectual persuasion. It's emotional engineering. This is the same strategy described by former cult members. They didn't just change their beliefs, they had their internal compass rewired. Their feelings, their sense of self, their very identity reconstructed piece by piece until they couldn't tell where the programming ended and where their own thoughts began. And this doesn't come out of nowhere. The roots go back to Cold War psychological warfare programs when government-funded researchers, often under CIA direction, set out to dismantle and rebuild human consciousness. One infamous psychiatrist even gave LSD to an elephant just to see if he could chemically trigger violent behavior. He ran hippie crash pads and free clinics, end quote, that turned out to be observation zones for studying drug addicts, cults, and social breakdown in real time. The goal was clearly about control, about controlling your mind. This was an experiment in mass mind control. Could you isolate the triggers for violence? Could you dissolve identity and implant new ones? Fast forward to now, and the same tactics have just been digitized. The mind control isn't happening in dark basements. It's on your phone, in your feed, in your chatbot. They're not using sodium pentothal anymore. They're using likes, shares, and flattery algorithms, and the mission hasn't changed. Fracture reality, flood the zone with confusion, and then rebuild a new belief system that people feel emotionally connected to. Social media is really an emotional operating system, and they're rewriting your code in real time. Call it weaponized frequency. And now they're tuning it for something even bigger. I mean, you can feel it in the air. Something's being stirred here. The calm before the storm. They're not just destabilizing minds anymore. They're scripting a race war. All across social media, I'm sure you've seen it. We're suddenly flooded with stories meant to provoke maximum racial outrage. Why now, though? How many of you have had your news feeds flooded with racial division again? You know the rule. If every single right-wing media influencer talks about a particular story the exact same way, you can guarantee it's a psyop at play. Elon Musk said, for now, retweeting an interview with a South African leader that basically suggested they want to kill all white people there. This is insane. He said, "We have not called for killing off the whites for now." And then the guy says to him, "Why are you saying for now? That sounds insane." He's like, "Well, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. It might kill all the white people." This is insane. Everyone is promoting this. And why these particular stories with just enough ambiguity to start a fire, but never enough clarity to extinguish it? This is how they do it, okay? When too many people start waking up, the demons in charge shake the hornet's nest and step back, So the Greater Israel Project quietly continues behind the scenes. They've been doing this for decades. It's almost like they started the melting pot for that very reason. I mean, take the case of Austin Metcalf. I'm sure you've heard this. A white 17-year-old stabbed to death by another 17-year-old. A black kid stabbed him during a high school track meet. The official story was a dispute over a seat, but the details are foggy on purpose. Was Carmelo bullied into stepping out of his seat? Why did he have a knife on him? And why did he run away and try stashing the knife? A lot of this is so weird to me. Were the other two the aggressors? Did he get stabbed just for being white? Where the hell are the facts here? Why is everything vague and conflicting? Even with all that uncertainty, the narrative is already bending backward to soften the killer's image. We're told this was a dispute, right? Tensions and, context matters here. The truth is, a white teenager is dead, and the system is telling you not to generalize. Don't connect dots here. Don't notice the patterns of white victims stacking up while corporate media chants equity and looks the other way. And then comes the Shiloh Hendricks story, right? The white woman who called a black autistic 5-year-old the N-word at a playground. Like, what the hell is this about? And why is every single right-wing media influencer talking about this story in particular, right? Suddenly she's turned into a folk hero and over $700,000 raised, which is crazy. This is being used as a political lightning rod, a reactionary mirror to the $500,000 raised for Carmelo Anthony, the teen that killed the white kid, Austin. It's like the system manufactured a tribal tit for tat. Now both sides are crowdfunded, radicalized, and fuming over this. I mean, just in time for summer. Think about that. They've even got state leaders in Minneapolis quietly preparing the next big spark here. Throw fuel on the fire and then put out the idea of a possible Derek Chauvin pardon right before riot season starts. Again, it's like clockwork. Think about that. The same city, the same narrative triggers, the same emotional conditioning loops, same heat, the same playbook is playing out. So they want to flood our newsfeed with the story of Shiloh and Carmelo Anthony and Austin, but they don't talk about this one, for example, like the story with Ashley Long, a white woman, 28 years old, a blonde white woman was shot dead in Dallas by a black man named Kendrick Finch. No slur, no fight, no dispute over a seat. She lightly brushed against his car as she crossed the street with her friends. That's all it took. He got out of the Mercedes, pulled a gun, and executed her in broad daylight. There's no debate about this. No one's talking about this. This happens all the time. Why aren't any of these right-wing influencers talking about this? I mean, this is a cold-hearted monster with a gun that killed a white woman for no reason, and no corporate outlet is screaming about it on repeat. No murals, no marches, no national conversation. Why? Because there's no emotional ambiguity to weaponize, right? There isn't gray areas here where people can become tribal over. This is an obvious story of a monster killing a white woman. Why don't you talk about that? The details here are obvious. Like, we know what happened. I think that's what the Austin and Carmelo and even the Shiloh story have in common. There's a gray area here, and the DICs love to weaponize the gray area. And for the sad story of Ashley Long, well, there are no blurry details to twist into tribal warfare. There's no psyop value in that one. You understand? The truth is, the system doesn't want justice. It just wants chaos. It wants outrage that can be algorithmically split down color lines. So when a black man commits a savage act of violence, again, against a white woman for nothing, it won't get the same amount of coverage, because that would shatter the programming. That would make too many people realize the truth. These stories of Austin Metcalf stabbed over a seat, Shiloh Hendricks pushed to a profit level for calling a 5-year-old kid the N-word, these are coordinated events used like fuel for the fire, because when you're running an emotional control grid, you don't need facts. You just need friction. And they're feeding it to both sides because a fractured nation is easier to enslave. And now we see this. I mean, Minneapolis and state leaders prepare for a possible Derek Chauvin pardon. I mean, do you see what's happening? It's like the PSYOP actors get pardoned right on schedule. It really has me thinking the George Floyd thing was a PSYOP. I mean, just in time for riot season. Right when the weather gets nice in Minnesota, they're reactivating the trauma script. And with Trump back in the spotlight, it's all being timed perfectly for another wave of chaos. Someone just needs to spark the match here, and I swear the whole thing is going to explode. It goes back to the point of the Harvard historian talking about these platforms are being used to emotionally manipulate people and push them in the direction where they need them to go in order to justify more control. Now, carrying on here, I want to carry on with this PSYOP because, as many of you know, I did talk about this last show. Continuing on, Diddy wasn't just a hip-hop mogul, he was the black market version of Jeffrey Epstein, running a VIP lounge for Lucifer himself, where fame-starved artists paid admission with their souls and whatever bodily fluids he demanded that week. Oh God, this is going to be some creepy-ish. And wouldn't you know it, overseeing the legal fallout here is none other than Maureen Comey, daughter of deep state spook James Comey, who's somehow been assigned to every demonic scandal in the States. Epstein's Oops, He Hung Himself debacle, the Ghislaine sideshow, and now the Diddy freak show. The same James Comey, former FBI director, that just posted this on his Instagram page, which he later took down, 8647. More divide and conquer taking place at the moment. I believe it clearly is another psyop here. 8647 meaning eliminate 47th president, which is Donald Trump. Can you believe he posts that now? A former FBI director. Someone also mentioned that 8647 was the exact days since 9/11 where he posted this picture. So 8647 days went by and then he posts the 8647 on his Instagram page. Some weird Freemasonry numerology taking place here too. Maureen Comey, daughter of former FBI director James Comey, who just so happened to be in charge during the embarrassingly fake 9/11 commission report, now his daughter's neck deep in every elite scandal imaginable, helping cover up Israel's crimes like it runs in the family. Ain't that some shit? You'd think after losing the Epstein footage, she'd be reassigned to handling parking tickets, but nope. Since we're living in clown world, she got promoted to overseeing international child trafficking rings involving Mossad. Because when the demons in charge stage these trials to sell you the illusion of justice, they make damn sure the people running the case are working for them too. It was back in 2023 that the world first heard the term Diddy freak-offs from a lawsuit that Cassie filed. Cassie accused Diddy of forcing her to participate in these freak-off parties where she was forced to hook up with male escorts while Diddy watched it all go down. At first, the world refused to believe it, calling Cassie a liar who just wanted money from Diddy. But people started looking at her differently when the very next day Diddy settled with Cassie for millions of dollars. This seemed to prove that she wasn't lying about these wild freak-off parties, especially after months later, security footage of one of the hotels where the freak-offs took place showed Cassie trying to run away from Diddy during a freak-off session and then being stopped by Diddy and then being stomped out on camera. This is unbelievable. Then it became clear to the world who Diddy really was and who he is behind the scenes. But even with this information out, no one knew exactly what these freak-off parties were. They could only imagine what it could be. Now, since the trial has commenced, we finally have been told exactly what went on at some of these freak-offs. These weren't parties, and when you look into it, it sounds like Aleister Crowley sex magic ritual type-ish, okay? Diddy made male escorts ejaculate on Cassie and made her rub it on his nipples. Okay. I mean, talk about a weird, freaky individual. And what on earth did they do to Justin Bieber? Now Justin Bieber is looking like a possessed MK Ultra subject. Isn't that interesting? From Odie, the guy that lost his mind dealing with Diddy, to the Day 26 member who also was diagnosed with schizophrenia after dealing with Diddy. Does Diddy have some kind of direct energy weapon that can cause Havana syndrome in people? Because that's what it seems like to me. Now Justin Bieber is like lost it. Justin Bieber posted a video of himself eating a pizza yesterday during P. Diddy's trial. It's set up to look like someone is filming here, and is he imitating Diddy at one of his Pizzagate parties? Is that what he's trying to imply? On top of that, Katy Perry loves handing out pizzas to people in her audience. This has become a big thing at Katy Perry's concerts. It's become an ongoing thing where she tosses a pizza at people. I don't know, people. This is some freaky-ish. Anyone that knows about the Pizzagate scandal knows exactly how disgusting this is. These references to pizza and even hot dogs in those emails always meant something else. Leaked Hillary Clinton emails had them laughing while talking about ordering 50,000 pizzas and hot dogs. Well, we know exactly what they meant. Look at this tweet from Jay Dyer about P. Diddy's back tattoo here. This is crazy. Diddy's tattoo turns out to be a gay voodoo goddess. Yeah, that sounds real Diddy-like right there. She is a fierce protector of women, children, and the neglected, and is said to be the manifestation of Urzuli, the divinity of love. But here it says Urzuli is a group of spirits directly tied to these characteristics, and those who become possessed through spirit possession often are women or masisi, effeminate and or homosexual men. Freaky isn't even the word, okay? We need to create a whole new word for Diddy because he has taken it to the next level. I mean, Aleister Crowley type-ish. Now, Cassie basically has confirmed this during the trial as she has gone into detail about what exactly Diddy was doing during these rituals, because that's what it is, okay? But where it gets darker, as I mentioned last show, is Jonathan Odie, Cassie Ventura confirmed Trump hotel shooter. Isn't this crazy? And self-proclaimed Diddy sex slave who claims Diddy, Hillary Clinton, and Obama was part of a satanic cabal. You can't make this up, was one of Diddy's sex workers. And then he ends up shooting up a Trump tower? I'm telling you, they got some direct energy weapons out here. Or he just simply got the COVID vax. In court, Cassie identified Jonathan Odie as one of the sex workers who she was forced to engage in freak-off parties with. In 2018, Odie went to Trump Doral in Miami with an American flag and a gun with the intention to shoot a chandelier as a warning to President Trump that Diddy, Hillary Clinton, and Barack Obama were part of a cabal trying to kill him. Odie claims he learned a lot about Diddy and the cabal's sinister plans since he spent so much time as a sex slave at Diddy's parties and overheard many conversations. Odie claimed Diddy is part of a black Illuminati group that engages in pedophilia, animal abuse, satanic rituals, and CIA mind control programming. Well, that makes sense considering what happened to Q, a member of a Diddy band, Day 26. He also mentioned satanic rituals are conducted at the Bohemian Grove. Odie insisted in 2018 that the cabal has an agenda to kill Trump and that an assassination attempt was coming. Just last week, the Daily Mail confirmed that Diddy signed an NDA with Odie for $5 million in exchange for his silence. And now here's the part no one seems to want to say out loud. What if this whole due process situation is a psyop in itself to clean Diddy up, not take him down? Think about it. For days, all we've heard across every channel and every headline is how much of a degenerate Cassie is. Her new husband had to sit there and listen to every freak-off detail of these sexual demonic rituals that she did with Diddy. I mean, somebody give him the biggest simp ever award, because some reports are saying he even FaceTimed her many times while she was having sex with Diddy. Like, what? So we're supposed to believe that these court proceedings are about holding Diddy accountable, but everything coming out just makes Cassie look like a willing participant in some kind of demonic sex cult? Where's the crime, though? She did this for years. I mean, she willingly participated and even signed contracts, took the trips, played the role, and now suddenly it's abuse? Diddy's probably going to walk here because this whole thing seems like a setup, including the prosecutor. The lead prosecutor happens to be former FBI Director James Comey's daughter. The same Comey who protected Epstein's secrets and let the surveillance tapes mysteriously disappear. So yeah, maybe the tanking is intentional. Maybe Diddy was the Black Epstein, used to collect leverage on celebrities, artists, politicians, until the heat got too hot. And now the demons in charge are staging another one of their Talmudic theater productions to give the illusion of justice while quietly making sure their assets walk away clean. Cassie claimed that when they were in the other room after finishing with the escort, Diddy would do the most disturbing thing about all this. I mean, this is worse than anything else that has been reported. And that says a lot. According to Cassie, Diddy would instruct her to remove the male fluid from inside of her and then rub it on his chest area. Okay, you heard that right. Diddy would want the escort's fluid rubbed on his chest after Cassie finished hooking up with him. But this does sound like Aleister Crowley black magic, sex ritual stuff. The mainstream media is hiding that Diddy might be a occultist. If he's practicing these exact devil type of acts, that means he does practice in that Aleister Crowley religion called Thelma. What Cassie described wasn't her just fulfilling Diddy's strange kinks. I mean, it was describing sex magic ritual that's written in the Thelma book that Aleister Crowley wrote. Exactly what Diddy has Cassie doing in these freak-offs. Because in the book, Aleister Crowley did say that a man and woman engaging in intimate activities together while others watch is kind of a big thing for them, okay? Those acts are part of the thelema religion that people believe there's magic in this kind of intimacy. These freaks really think it spiritually enlightens them. By watching other couples engage in these activities, they are absorbing that energy. That's what Diddy was doing the whole time. So he wasn't just throwing wild parties, he was running some kind of satanic sex rituals, full-blown occult ceremonies described as celebrity hookups. And it's not some random theory either. I mean, he's been flaunting it. Every time you see him with those weird hand signs and photos, that's straight out of the Thelema playbook. That love is the law, love under will garbage. That's their motto. And Diddy, he literally named himself Love. Dropped the Love album. You think that's a coincidence? Nah, that's him showing his allegiance without saying a word. He's neck deep in sex magic. The other show I was going over a Freemason talking about how they believe they are unlocking the keys to the universe. They feel like they can live forever by molesting children. The deeper you go in this, the more satanic and bizarre it gets. But Cassie was trying to act like she was basically trapped and forced into these rituals over and over, but I highly doubt it. It seems like she was willingly participating in them. Not only that, but after all of this, she was even seen recently at one of Diddy's house parties. She was invited and she went. So what the hell is going on, people? These sickos think they're unlocking some kind of divine intel, and they're willing to give up their own soul and yours to get it. And it's not just Diddy. The whole industry is built on this. Artists, inventors, actors. They've been using these rituals to channel ideas, inspiration, even entire personalities. That's why people need to stop idolizing these demons in designer suits, okay? They're not role models. They're just Satanists. They're covering for their own, and this entire due process of Diddy is a PR distraction. We already know what's up, okay? Pedophiles, occultists, MK Ultra leftovers, all hiding behind fame and money. We are officially in PSYOP season, and be careful, these controlled ops have updated their scripts. They really are playing 5D chess with you. If you like what I do here, links are in the description for ways to support. It is greatly appreciated. Purchase the Eyes Wide Open coffee, organic coffee from Gustavus, Alaska. My favorite, semi-cool mail. My P.O. box is in the description of this video. Or send me crypto. My crypto wallets are in the description of this video. Become a monthly subscriber, Patreon or Subscribestar. You will be greatly helping fund this show, and you will be keeping it going. So shout out to my people on there. Until next week, folks, until next time, this is Steve Eyes. You're on the Eyes is Watching channel, signing off.